Paul George has agreed to a 4-year, $137 million max contract.
A 4-year, $154 million max deal.
Harden signed a 4-year, $118.1 million contract extension last summer.
Hello, for our project we wanted to evaluate players in the NBA and find out who was being overpaid, who was being underpaid, and then eventually create a model for how much to pay players. In the news you hear all the time of players that getting these max millions of dollar contracts, and so we wanted to figure out who deserves it and who doesn't.
The first part of our project was the data collection. This was carried out through web scraping the HTML of various sports websites to obtain player statistics, team statistics, and player salary. Through Beautiful Soup, we were able to compile all of the data in easy-to-read data frames consisting of players, their respective salaries, players, and their respective statistics, and finally, teams and the overall team statistics. The first step in building out our model was to create a regression on each team statistics to find the driving factors of a winning team, and essentially showing which metrics are key to a team winning. The step was building out a regression model for player statistics to prove correlation between performance and pay. Many of the variables had an obvious impact on salary, like points, turnovers, plus minus, but there are a few outlying statistics that had unusual varying results. For example, increased blocks per game actually led to decreased salary as well as free throw attempts. After building out our team models, we then applied each player's individual statistics to see how each player individually contributed to the team's winning. And by doing so, we did what we thought would determine the most valuable players in the NBA. Our team model, we were able to apply the players' individual statistics to the team model to see which players contributed the most towards a team's winning. By doing so, we thought we would iron out a model that predicted the most valuable players for a team, which could be cross-validated through their salaries. However, as you can see in our graph, there's a lot of unusual names at the top, and we attribute this to some irregularities in comparing players' metrics to a team model. Therefore, going forward, we examined the most expensive players in the NBA of last season, compared it to our individual player model to predict their salary, found the difference, and by doing so found the most under and overrated player. Among the underrated players are, as you would expect, players that are young and on their rookie contract, whereas some of the overvalued players are veterans like Dwayne Wade and Dirk Nowitzki that are at the tail end of their careers that are receiving high veteran contracts.